Ah, so let me ask you a very scary question for you.
Sure.
What kind of percentage of the deal does that wrapper make, right? I said I warned you, scary, and we're not going to hold you to that number. But in reality, when we're looking at valuations and when we're trying to boost our valuation, years before we get there, how
Mm,
much time and energy and effort do we want to spend in that space for the return, right? So if I'm going to spend, a lot of time and energy and a lot of assets or resources to develop that, what's my ROI going to be on that development?
yeah. Um, I mean, look, I always say that it's not in my interest. It's never in my interest to tell a client that their business is worth more. It's always in my interest to tell them that it's worth less because I
Of
can
course.
prepare them for the worst case, whatever it is, right? Um, so, but
I mean, are
look,
we
I
talking
think there's two
10%? Are we
elements.
talking 25%? Are we talking
There's two
3?
elements. Yeah, look, there's two elements here, right? The first element is the valuation, and the second element is how likely the deal is for it to be successful.
Mm,
Um, I mean, 80% of deals fail, 50% of deals that hit heads of terms never complete. It's quite difficult to for an acquisition to happen.
sure.
Um, when we once you've had a valuation, you've accepted it. I work with sort of a fantastic sell side consultant in the UK. He always says, and I really subscribe for this. It's 80% heart, 20% paper. Once you get to heads of terms, right? Whether the
Okay,
deal
okay.
completes, yeah.
So it's
Once you
kind of
get to
the
heads of terms,
icing on the cake. It's not necessarily the cake itself with the flour and the sugar and the baking powder and everything you've made to make that cake, but it's the decorations on the top that make it. Is that kind of
yeah. I mean, the problem is, and this is why I was hesitant before, is because I think that when you're before heads of terms, it's impossible to articulate because no one's ever going to say it. I reckon it's probably as high as 30% evaluation is
wow.
before yeah,
When
because
done,
it's
when done well, when everything else is stacked and organized, right?
yeah, and the reason
Got
why it's impossible because at the end of the day, valuations are always dictated on the market,
Sure,
and
it's based on the
right,
buyer.
and no investor is ever going to tell you that they're willing to pay more for a business because it made them feel good, right? Because that would make them look like a terrible investor. Um, but practically, in terms of if I look at the deals and we compare like for like in the past 200 deals that we've seen, why the valuation's different here and there, it it is those things.
Wow.
And yeah, and when you look at the statistics over the course of everything, no one will ever admit it, but that's what we see.
Well, thank you, Saul. This was really good. I warned you. I said this is going to be a difficult question to answer because
Sure.
you couldn't answer, but you gave us the insight that said, okay, when everything else is super solid, you've got all the numbers, it all makes sense, the valuation, the dollar, the cash flow decision, and the risk decision is made. Now the final piece that pushes them over the edge is all the extra stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I love it. I love it.
Cool.